Well, today's kind of a weird day. We've got some cold weather coming, and I've been kind of doing little things to get ready for that. And then today is kind of D-Day to get ready for that. I have to do things that I didn't get done yet. But today, we're under tornado threat. We've got systems coming towards us. It's just now starting to kind of get here to this area, and the skies are starting to look kind of weird. But right now it's still north and west of us, northwest. So anyway, there's supposed to be rain and stuff later, but it looks like these tornadic little cells are out ahead of the storm. So I don't know when it could deteriorate and pop up. So right now though, I just got to keep going. My neighbor has some eggs that I can come pick up. I'm down to one egg. And so luckily she had some. So I'm gonna run over there and get eggs from her. That way I'll have eggs. I'll have like 3 dozen eggs to get through this storm no matter what happens. And the eggs don't need refrigeration because they're fresh, so they can sit on my cabinet so the weather won't bother that. My thinking is I have to prepare for just not being able to go anywhere because of roads and stuff, but also I have to think of what's going to happen if my lights go out. And it's not what I'm thinking about today, it's what I've been thinking about for the week and a half or so that they've been warning this was coming. So I'm just trying to do what I can today to prepare. And it's like deja vu, but I'm going to fill up my gas cans again because I have gas cans that are low, and I need gas possibly for my gas generator should something happen and I need it. And I want to make sure I have plenty of gas for an inverter system, which is a generator, but it's an inverter generator that my sister lent me. And I'll tell you why she lent me that and what I really need it for. I caught my dog kicking dirt all over these gas cans the other day, and he was making him a little place here to sleep in. So now these gas cans are filthy. So I've got to sweep them off real quick before I can take them to the gas station. But I've got 3 of them that need gas in them. I've got 2 with gas, but I just don't know how this is going to roll out, and I don't know if I'm going to have to help neighbors with lending them a generator or anything. So I want to make sure all these cans are filled up. See, the clouds are starting to roll in. I don't know, we're probably just going to ride this one out here. We went to our daughter's the other day when we had bad tornado systems that were near us, and we did have some hit just north of us. But for this system, I think it's just going to be easier for us to stay home today. I'm going to go ahead and run errands while I still can, get some things battened down. Then I'm going to come home and start baking some bread and doing what all I can do as long as I have lights and stuff. We'll just see how this all rolls out. It's one thing to lose lights because of the ice coming, but I also have this tornadic system that might make us lose lights even earlier. So I'm trying to think this through and get done what I need to get done as soon as possible. Came to a station with non-ethanol gas, because that's what you're supposed to use, like in these generators, so that it doesn't gunk up or anything. So that's what I did. I've got them filled. I just got to put the lids on them, and then I'm going to take them back home. Though I do have a gas generator and I do need gas for it, another reason I got gas was because my sister lent me her inverter generator. And the reason I might need it is for this reason. Here's my main breaker box. I had an electrician come and install my transfer switch box. This is from my Jackery 3000 Pro solar generator I bought. You could also buy the transfer switch box. So I did that, and he's got it all hooked up. And I can actually, because I don't know how it all works with electricity, but he hooked 6 of my breakers to this transfer switch box. I can take the plug that I have and plug one end there and the other end into my Jackery 3000 Pro and run up to 6 breakers if I want to. The ones he set up for me are to run my refrigerator, which is in my kitchen, my freezer, which is right here in my washroom. So it'll run these plugs along my washroom wall. He wrote TV and chair is my 3rd one. And what that means is that's the electricity outlets that are in the den. And I'll be able to use them to have Richard's electric lift chair go up and down, which is very helpful. Obviously, if we're out of electricity, the TV won't be working, but it's all those outlets. The next thing is the kitchen outlets, and then he has it set up to run my front bath and my master bath outlets. Now I have windows in those bathrooms, so unless I absolutely need to, I'm not going to really use those. And the other ones I can cut on and off as needed. I don't have to run all 6 at the same time is what I'm saying. So, but this helps a lot. It'll allow me to control some electricity, to run it off of that solar generator, and to make our lives a little bit easier should the lights go out. Now the problem is I have to put my solar generator like right down here below it, plug one end there, and one end of the main plug for the transfer switch there, which is great. And it'll run things, which is great. But eventually this solar generator is going to run down of power, eventually, if lights stay out that long. Hopefully they don't, but if they do, you never know. So I need to be able to recharge it. Well, I have the solar panels that came with it, 2 of them. And the best place for me to put those would be on my back porch laid out. They will fit. And I could run a plug to them out my sliding glass door to the solar panels. But the problem is I would have to unplug this Jackery 3000 Pro that was in this washroom, roll it all the way into my dining room in there to plug it into the solar panels. Meantime, all these breakers go off. Everything has to go off for the hours it's going to take to recharge my Jackery. So I wasn't sure how to handle that. So my electrician called the Jackery company and said, do y'all make longer cords? But they only make one up to a 30-foot cord, which does not reach. I have to go out of this washroom, down a little hall, across my kitchen, across my dining room, and it would need to go all the way to my sliding glass door. 30 foot's not going to do it. So I had to do something else. My sister has 2 of these inverter generators, and she lent me one. I really didn't know what they were, to be honest with you. But when I was telling her my dilemma of how I was going to have to just shut everything off to be able to bring that unit all the way to my back porch, she said, no, just take my inverter generator and you can run a cord from it to your solar generator, which you can leave plugged in your washroom, and it'll recharge it. So I was like, I'll take it. I need to actually get me one of these. If that's going to be the situation of how I can quickly recharge that solar generator, then I need to get me one of these. What it does is, if I was to plug my regular generator in, which is like 10,000 watts, and do a cord to my solar generator to recharge it, it would fry it. But because my solar generator is not near that powerful. But this inverter generator, however it all works, will only send the power it needs to my solar generator. It won't overpower it. I don't know all the mechanisms of how all that works, but that's what these things are. And a lot of people who do camping and all that kind of stuff understand these things and these inverters and all. I'm just learning a lot of this, but this is the perfect tool I need to help me quickly get that solar generator recharged and everything if I need it to. And it's just invaluable, and I appreciate it so much. I've got it sitting inside right now, but I would put it out on my back porch because it runs like a regular generator. It has exhaust and all, so you have to run it outside. But I would run the cord from that generator through my house to my solar generator. So that's how that would work. But this definitely would be on my back porch should I need to use it. Right now, I just have it inside because of the weather and because I don't want anybody to take it. Another thing I'm doing is just simply getting some food ready to have in my refrigerator. I feel like if you think your lights are going to be going out, it's a whole lot easier to have some meals cooked that you can just serve up portions of and heat up really easily. My refrigerator hopefully will be running because of my solar generator powering it. And I also can use my solar generator and my outlets to use my 2-burner little electric stove to cook. So I could easily heat up things. In this, I just put it together so it doesn't look like what it's going to look like, I don't think. But it's called a tamale pie. And it's got a cornbread mixture in it, plus ground meat, corn, tomatoes, and chili seasoning mix and things like that. And I think the cornbread mix cooks during this and kind of makes a tamale pie. You wait till it's completely done, then you can put all kind of shredded cheese on top to make a cheese topping. We'll see. But I'm trying this, and that'll be one thing we can easily portion onto a paper plate or something, heat up really easily, and eat. And then I also made the osso buco that I used my beef shank from my trip to Smith Farms the other day to get the meat. So I did make the osso buco, and tonight I'm making some orzo pasta to go with it. And so that'll give me another option of something that'll just be in the refrigerator and that I'll have. This is the osso buco, and it's just a tomato meat mixture made out of that beef shank. I used a recipe from a cookbook I have that was written in 1968. It's called The Book of Pasta. It's just an old cookbook with the pictures of Italy in it and stuff, and I used a recipe out of it to make this. Came out really good. I'm going to work on the orzo pasta that goes with it next and put that in the refrigerator. This is the orzo pasta you use to serve with this, and it's kind of like a rice small pasta. It cooks pretty quick, but you also add some shredded Parmesan cheese and you cook it in broth. So I think it'll taste really good. I think it'll go well with this and make kind of a hearty meal if we need one to reheat later. I'm also baking some bread. It's in the rising stage right now, and it's rising really well. I'm going to share this recipe with y'all soon. It's one I discovered here on YouTube, and I just want to share it with you because everything I make with this comes out wonderful. So it's just worth sharing. I'll do that later. I'm so sorry. I don't have time today to really go into all the cooking details because I had so much to do, but I'll share it with you later. Another thing I'm doing is making sure I have batteries charged for different things. Like, for instance, this little chainsaw that I have. Now, it won't cut a big tree. If I have a big tree fall, that's an issue. But it'll cut small limbs, and you just never know when you might need it. I'm also charging my 20-volt batteries because I could need it for my drills, or I could need it for my Sawzall if I do need to cut something, and mostly for my husband's radio, and here's why. Something has happened and our internet has went out. So Richard can't watch TV. He can't do anything right now because our internet has gone out. So this radio is valid to keep him entertained and everything while I get things done. So we've got this radio working with a battery, and then I'm keeping one in the hole just in case we need it, and I'll probably charge a couple more. It's about 5 o'clock, I think, in the evening. This is a little darker than it should be because of the cloud cover, but I don't really know what's going to be happening because I can't check the weather on my phone. They have storm chasers in central Louisiana, and I don't know how that's going. I was watching it earlier, and now I don't know how it's going. They don't seem to be saying anything on the radio about the weather because it's all about the Saints ball game and the after ball game review and everything right now. So they're not talking about the weather, so I haven't gotten any information there, and we can't watch our TV. Just looking at the clouds, they're rocking and rolling. I don't know if you can see, but they're rocking and rolling. But it feels like it's cooled off to me, so I kind of feel like maybe the danger that was here earlier today, where it just felt like it was building up and it was hot earlier today, I just kind of feel like now that might be receding, that this cool air might already be working in here. I could be wrong. I'm not a weather person, but I don't know. I don't have that ominous feeling like I did earlier, which is kind of weird because the clouds are dark, but it just feels cooler to me. So I'm hoping that I'm not under any kind of tornado threat anymore. The red line though, I don't think it's gotten here yet. So I'll update if anything happens, but I just feel a little bit better about it. It may go more north of me than what they thought. We shall see. They had previously said we may not get bad weather till 9 o'clock at night, and then things started popping earlier today, as far as tornado things. It was a little bit earlier than what they had said, so maybe we won't have to be under all this till 9 tonight. We'll just have to see. I've got things on my list. I've got a list in my kitchen of things to do as the days roll out, if this Arctic thing reaches as far down to us, from what I heard, it might come in a wave or two. Like the very first wave, we might not get as cold as what is bad, but then like a second little wave might cause us to drop more, and we might get back into situations at that point. And so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I have to think about it, but yet I'm not really worried about it. It's okay. But what I'll do is if it starts looking like we are going to lose lights, or it is coming here, it is going to get icy and stuff down here, or get down in the teens, or, you know, low 20s for a couple of days in a row, then I may just drain our water out of our pipes, go under my trailer, cut the main water off, drain the water, and then drain it out of my faucets and everything, and just leave our water off for a couple of days. Because that's the biggest worry, is that your pipes end up busting. And I know you can leave things draining and all, but trust me, that gets nerve-wracking as well. You've got that water running all the time, and then we have had situations before where all of a sudden it quit running because things had started freezing up and we had to jump into motion. We've never had pipes bust at our houses that we've lived in, but we have had situations where during the middle of the night, 2 and 3 in the morning, that water in your faucet just quit running and things iced up anyway. I would almost rather take that stress off my back and go ahead and cut my water off. However, I have to watch things. If it's some kind of crazy thing that's going to go on for 3 or 4 days, that might not be the best tack to take. I don't know. I'm just going to have to work it out. This isn't a video telling you kind of how to do everything, but it's telling you the things you have to think about. If the water goes out, you still need to flush toilets and stuff like that. So at that point, I would probably make sure Richard and I had gotten our baths, my hair's washed and all that kind of stuff. And then I would clean both of our tubs and fill the tubs up full of water for flushing toilets. I do have a lot of other jugs full of water that I've gathered and stored and stuff. And we would have other water that we could use to flush toilets should we need to. And then I have plenty of bottled water for drinking or for cooking or brushing our teeth and things like that, you know. So I've done a lot of prepping. I've done a lot of things over the years, and I'm not scared of anything. It's just, you know, you have to always be careful. We always have these fronts come through all over the country. Depending on where you live, you have fronts come through, and you just kind of have to be aware and plan for the worst so that when nothing happens, you had everything you would have needed had it happened. But if it does happen, you don't have to freak out and panic. You're okay. And I think I'm okay this time. I think I've gotten enough systems in order that we'll be okay. We have electric blankets. I do have a buddy heater and a ton of little propane tanks should I need them for anything. And that'll be kind of one of my last resorts, but hopefully electric blankets and stuff like that, and all kind of other blankets and warm clothing that we have would help us get through. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place, and I hope that wherever you are, you're getting weather that you can manage. It can't always be decent weather that's just great, but as long as you can manage it, that's what we're hoping for. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope we get through this weather event okay, and out to the next thing coming. See y'all later. Bye-bye. The ossobuco and the orzo pasta came out good. It really hit the spot for supper tonight, and it came out really, really good. I especially like the Parmesan cheese that was cooked in with the pasta. The California tamale pie was a no-go. I might be able to salvage it if I get in there and kind of tweak it, but it's not something I would recommend to anybody. The bread, however, was delicious. I made the 4 little loaves in a Pampered Chef pan that I forgot my sister had given me. It's the first time I used it. So I made 4 little loaves. I'm going to put 3 in the freezer. We'll just eat off of 1 for right now. Richard and I just need 1 little small loaf of bread at a time. So it's really helping me out to be able to do these 4 loaves instead of just making 1 or 2 big loaves. Oh, and the rain, it did come. It got here about 8:45, I think, and I guess that line did, in fact, blow through here, just like they said it would, between 8 and 9 tonight. And it got pretty wild for a few minutes, but my daughter had told me it was going to come through quickly and that it didn't look like it was going to be too bad, so I just kind of trusted her as I was watching all this blowing outside of my house, and in the end, it worked out good. It didn't get that bad, and when it was over with, we haven't had any thunder or anything since, and it's calmed down. I think tomorrow is going to be pretty clear. It's just that it's going to get cold. So we'll see what this cold weather brings. But for tonight, I'm grateful we survived any kind of tornadic weather, and we'll just take it one day at a time as this cold weather comes through. Y'all take care and be safe. This storm was over quickly. Don't let it scare you. Once it was over, though, I was very, very grateful. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.